FightMagazine.com's Evan Herzog. This is Albert Rosales of Grinders Fitness and MMA up in North Glen, Colorado, and we're going to get right into it. The big, the fuming topic, at least in the MMA world, and has transferred over into the boxing world as well, has everybody talking. It's Floyd Money Mayweather, kind of putting out some super corny videos this week, kind of half announcing his arrival to MMA, almost as cringeworthy as when Conor broke out at Madison Square Garden after the Mike Conlon fight last spring, claiming that he was boxing. I feel like this is Floyd's moment of kind of shame or fame, however you look at it. What are your thoughts on this right off the bat when you woke up and saw that Floyd had, made this announcement?
Honestly, I think it's a joke. I don't think it's something that should have ever happened. Personally, I don't think Conor had any business stepping in the boxing ring with Floyd either. But we know Floyd likes to make money, and he's very good at it. And personally, I think this is just Floyd's way of keeping his name in the light. And honestly, I think he's going to try and get into the MMA business, as whether it's forming his own promotion or whatever it is. I personally don't think he's got any intentions of actually stepping into a cage to fight. And I've said it before too. Like I could name off 20 local fighters here in the 145 to 155 range that would ball him up within a round. So I don't think he's got any business stepping into the cage with somebody, say like Conor McGregor or anything like that. Personally, if that was me stepping in the cage with him, I would just honestly, I would embarrass him. Like, I would just take him down. I would beat him. I'd put him in bad positions, make him panic, and right when you feel like he's about to break, I'd let him off the hook for a little bit. And then, maybe put him around before the end of the first round. Obviously, he's got a puncher's chance, so you don't want to let him hang around too long, because the fight starts on the feet. So, especially with 4-ounce gloves, you probably don't want Floyd Mayweather touching him, So, but I would put him on his back in a heartbeat and just make an example out of him, And as we've seen before, pro boxers have not fared well at all coming into the MMA scene. So I just generally don't see Floyd as actually really wanting to step in there. He's done too much in his career, and he's done too much for himself to actually really step in there and get embarrassed by somebody.
As a coach, and I guess my first thought is I'm not too surprised if we do see this. I've said before that I think if we do see him, come forward and have a fight in the UFC, obviously that's the only organization that this would happen, and it would probably be a joint thing with Mayweather Promotions, because you mentioned money, he likes to make money. Well, there's no way that UFC can fork up the type of money that he would need and his opponent, because I think that it would probably be Conor McGregor, right? Even though that's not a good matchup for him to start out, but I think this was maybe all part of allowing Conor to move away from his contract momentarily and go fight Floyd in the ring. Maybe they had something worked out back in the day, but I guess what I wanted to say is we shouldn't be too surprised. We've seen CM Punk get in. Floyd's, much more qualified than CM Punk, but as a coach, how long would it take Floyd at 40 years old if there's no secret training that, there's been rumors of that he's been secretly training the last 5 years, takedown defense, takedowns, kicks, checking kicks. I don't believe that, but if there wasn't, if he was starting fresh today, just with his stand-up ability, how long would it take to get him ready to even fight on like a regional level, let alone the UFC?
Well, honestly, like obviously he's got the striking aspect covered, so he knows what he's doing there. Obviously he's one of the best ever. I don't know that we'll really
TBE.
I don't know what the chances are of seeing somebody surpass what he's done, up to this point. Striking, he's got it down, but it's the wrestling and the ground game that's going to give him issues. And at his age, I don't see that he's got enough time to actually learn everything he needs to do. If you look at somebody like CM Punk or some of these guys, it's much more difficult than you would think it would be. The wrestling aspect in the ground is something that takes years and years and years to get really good at. So now you step into this level, there's not a chance. There's not any chance at all that even if you gave him 2 years it's not enough time to learn how to wrestle and to learn how to avoid the submissions. I just, if he was 25 years old, I'd say, oh yeah, he's got time. He can do this, But he just doesn't have that on his side, and he's got a lot of miles on his body. I mean, let's be honest. He's had a ton of fights, and that's not even including his amateur career or anything like that. He's not a spring chicken. So I just don't see this going well for him at all.
Do you think I can't help but wondering? We've talked a little bit off of camera about, if this does come to fruition, will we see a special rules type of fight where maybe they eliminate that, or you can't, they won't allow takedowns for the first 2.5 minutes of each round, etc. Do you think we can see that? Do you think that the UFC is willing to put all of MMA's integrity? Because we saw a lot about, boxing fans talked about the lack of integrity that the McGregor-Mayweather boxing match had. Do you think that they're willing to risk the major blowback? Because there will be major blowback. UFC fans will watch McGregor versus Mayweather in a cage, because I think a lot of people want it to be proved that, when you add all aspects to the fight, he has no chance. They want that answer to the Mayweather-McGregor boxing match where, McGregor ended up looking bad and everybody was kind of putting it MMA versus boxing at that point. Do you think they're willing to risk that, by making a special rules match? Because I think there'll be a huge blowback from the MMA community in general if they do that.
Honestly, nothing would surprise me anymore. But I don't see that happening. I can't see them doing that with this product. Okay, we've already seen McGregor box. Mm-hmm. Okay, so why would you give Floyd Mayweather 2 more rounds to box?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we saw
with
that
4-ounce gloves.
Right.
Too.
So I couldn't see that. Plus, I feel like the hardcore MMA fans would throw a fit if something like that were to happen.
I agree.
And then on top of that too, really, what are the commissions going to allow? Is that something that the athletic commissions are gonna let happen? Oh, let's put some special rules in here. Money wise, it makes sense, and we know the commissions are kind of looking for a little bit of money here and there too. So. It wouldn't surprise me, but I can't see it happening. I really can't. I just don't see anywhere where it makes sense.
Yeah.
But this whole fight doesn't make sense. So I can't even believe we're talking about it right now, anyways, because it's ridiculous.
Right, and we've seen Vegas, maybe kind of put their integrity on the line and into question as well. Allowing the first fight in the first place. To allow one of the best to ever do it. To get in there and fight someone with 0 amateur boxing matches. It was interesting. That would never have happened. It was a special circumstance. It was all about money, clearly. But at the end of the day, I think there's something to that. They money talks, especially in Sin City, and I hope it doesn't come down to that. If he does get in there, I hope he respects MMA enough, just as Conor respected boxing, to not do anything stupid during their fight. He didn't throw any kicks. He did a little bit of,
he clinched a little bit, did some dirty boxing. But hey, all the good pros do that. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm hoping Floyd respects the game enough to where he would say, no, I don't want special rules. I'll come to it. But last thing is, if he didn't fight McGregor, what weight he has to fight at 145? I would hope he's too old to cut all the way down to 135, but that's really where he would belong. We know his skill let him go up in weight in boxing, way up in weight. He really, if it's not Floyd Mayweather, he didn't have much business going up. We've seen Manny Pacquiao did it too, but 145, 155 would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think once you involve the clinch and the takedowns and everything, you start getting up to the 154, 155 area right there, and it's going to make a huge difference. And I know Floyd's a smart guy, and he's got his managers and he's got his lawyers, and they're all in his ear talking to, and I'm sure they're all telling him the same thing. And to be honest, I don't even know that McGregor can make 145 anymore. When's the last time he made 145? So he definitely wouldn't want to go down. So I kind of feel like, that's just goes into everything in terms of all the roadblocks that are going to appear, if they try and actually set this up. I just can't see this happening.
I can't either, but then again, I thought the boxing match was a pipe dream as well. So at the end of the day, all we can do is wait and see.
Hey, and don't get me wrong, we're all suckers for this match.
Right,
we are all suckers for that. So
I'll
I'm not saying
circus.
if Floyd did get this match and they weren't going to fight, guess what? I'm going to watch.
I'm watching it too.
But
Just like, I'm watching it too, and we hope you continue to watch us here at IBTV at Takedown MMA. That's going to do it for segment 1. Evan Herzog, Albert Rosales. That's been Money Talk.